Yeah, it's really early.
How did we end up here in the corner looking like enemies? We used to be the team people talk about, what a chemistry. I can see it in your eyes. You don't wanna talk anymore. I wanna get so numb while we enemies. No, you don't mind the way I stutter my words. You know exactly what it means and how it hurts. Oh, I can't believe you're here. Can't get any worse. No. I just wanna get out of here. I find it so hard to breathe. 'Cause when you get too close, I lose my way and I freeze. I wish you knew what power you have over me, but now it's so hard to breathe. Just get me out of here. Just get me out of here. Just get me out.
Well, welcome back to the channel, everybody, and welcome back to a new video. So today, as you can probably already tell, we are on a bit of a road trip. We've traveled about 200 kilometers-ish east of Chiang Mai. We are currently in the province of Chiang Rai because there are a couple of different places that I wanted to check out over in this part of the world because, well, who knows if I'm ever going to be back here, so take the opportunity while I'm here. Our first stop is one of those places. Now, this place actually does come with a little bit of controversy. And for me to explain that controversy, I kind of have to explain a bit of a story. So, many years ago in Burma, which is now Myanmar, there was a tribe called the Karen tribe. They became pretty world-renowned for their long necks, where they wear brass rings that actually don't actually elongate their necks. They actually push their shoulders down, creating this very unique look. But when civil wars broke out all over Burma, their existence became almost impossible, and the likelihood of them being wiped out was quite high. And so all these different tribes decided to leave Myanmar, and they headed out all over to different parts throughout Southeast Asia, and many of them made their migration here into Thailand in the northern mountainous areas. Now, this kind of put Thailand in a bit of a difficult spot. On the one hand, they couldn't allow them to just come into the country and set up shop, for lack of a better word, without some sort of controls, because if they didn't do that, then they would be opening the floodgates to many more refugees from all over the world, and especially this whole region. On the other side of the coin, they couldn't exactly round them up and send them back to Myanmar or Burma, knowing that the likelihood of them being extinguished out there was quite high. And so what they decided to do was they cordoned off some large chunks of land and allowed the Karen tribes to live here as long as they stayed within the borders of the land that they provided. Now, that all sounds pretty good and pretty reasonable, but here's where it starts to get a little controversial. They then decided to put up sort of border control, I guess you could say, to get in and out of these areas. And they started to advertise and sell tickets for tourism to come and visit these tribes. This got it somewhat coined as a living human zoo, and did not go over all that well. So today, these people still live here. They build their villages and live quite rurally off the land, similar to, in many ways, to the way they did back when they were in Burma. The kids go to local Thai schools, and they now have permission to leave the cordoned off areas to go to visit doctors and hospitals if they need to. And part of the proceeds of the money that is generated from the tourists coming into these villages goes towards providing water and power to the villages. How much of that percentage of that, nobody really knows, but that is generally supposed to be the consensus of where the majority of that money goes. It's still a bit of a controversial place. A lot of people still consider this to be somewhat of a human zoo, I guess is the lack of a better word. But I did quite a bit of research before I came out here because I wasn't sure whether I wanted to visit it. As I've mentioned before, just in general, the way I feel about zoos. You can imagine my reservations about a human zoo. But after reading a lot of things, I read an article from a lady that spent a lot of time in one of the villages. And she spoke to one of the ladies in the village, and she explained how they live very similar to the way they've always lived. They're quite happy knowing that at least they and their families are safe. They now have power and water, which is something that they didn't have when they were in Burma and in Myanmar. And their kids get to go to school, which opens up prospects and advantages there that they didn't have before. They have access to medical, which they didn't have before. And she asked him about what she feels about having all these tourists coming into her village on a sort of daily basis. And she explained it as it was an opportunity for her to meet all the different tribes from around the world, and they come to her rather than her having to go to them. Granted, they also set up a lot of marketing stalls where they sell a lot of goods and crafts that they create and make, and their opportunities for generating revenue is much higher than it probably has ever been. And so they generally look upon the whole experience, from the way I gathered it, as a more positive thing, as a way that their culture and tribe has grown from it and adapted, which is what we all have to do in life, is adapt to changes that come our way. So I think this place is one of those situations where it really depends on how you want to look at it. If you really want to look at it from a cynical perspective, yes, I mean, you could coin it as a human zoo. But if you look at it more from the tribe's perspective and less of your own perspective, I think it's a little bit more balanced than that. But anyways, I'm excited to go see it. So yeah, let's go check it out. well, that was the Karen Village. I did speak to somebody here because this all felt a little bit set up, and they explained that in fact this is actually kind of like their marketplace, their place where they come to work. The fields are behind the market area. It's where they sell their goods and where they make their woven goods and other items and crafts. And their actual village where they live is actually up higher into the mountains where it's a lot cooler. So yeah, this part of what we're seeing really isn't their village per se. It's more of like their marketplace. And it does feel a little bit kind of set up that way. It definitely doesn't have that sort of rural village feel that you would anticipate. Is it worth coming to check this place out? Yeah, it is. Like I said, it does feel a little bit set up. I did find some of the tour guides being a little pushy with some of the locals to make them come and take pictures with the people that they were bringing here, and that didn't sit very well with me, and I didn't quite like that. But generally speaking, most of the women here were quite happy to take pictures with people and smile. And the kids running around seem to be quite happy. But yeah, it does leave you feeling a little weird being here. I have to admit, it does feel like it's set up a little bit like more of, I don't want to say an amusement park, but that's kind of the only thing I can think of right now. It definitely doesn't feel very natural, but it's still worth coming to check out. The people are still, that I have spoken to with a little bit of broken English that they understand, seem very sweet, and they do seem happy. So who am I to say anything other than that? As long as people are happy, that's all that really matters. But yeah, we're done here now. It's time to move on to our next place and get back on the road, I guess. Let's go. Okay, so here we are now at our next stop. This one I don't really know much about because it was added in the tour package that I ended up going with, and to get to the other two places that I wanted to go see today. And so I didn't really do much research into it, but it is called the Blue Temple. It is also a very, very new temple. It was only constructed about 17 years ago, and it's very, very busy here, and it's actually getting really quite warm. But yeah, I wish I could tell you more about this place, but I can't. So let's just go check it out. So that was the Blue Temple. Very unique. First time I've ever seen a blue temple before, that's for sure. It's cool, but also very, very busy. Lots of cool, neat little statues around here. Definitely worth checking out. As far as I can tell, it doesn't really cost anything to come check this place out. So if you're in Chiang Rai and you want to come check out a temple and you're running tight on a budget, this place is pretty cool, definitely worth seeing. But for me, I'm excited about our next stop. So yeah, let's get going to our next place. And we have finally made it to the whole reason that I have traveled the 200 plus kilometers and 3-hour drive today. And that is to come here to visit the White Temple. The temple that originally sat on this ground by the late sort of 20th century was pretty much in ruins. There wasn't much left of it until a local artist decided to take on the project and try and rebuild it. But he wanted to rebuild it in his own kind of Buddhist style, you can say. And so what he built is truly, truly incredible. And he in fact still works on it to this very day. He did it all on his own with all his own money, and he took some very small donations along the way, but no government support whatsoever. He didn't want anybody interfering with his artistic idea and the way he wanted to do it. And so he never accepted money from anybody for it. But it's insane, and it's also extremely busy here. But yeah, I can't put words to any of this. You just, here, check it out. Okay, even the bathrooms here are insane. Check this out. It's very rare that I am rendered speechless. but I find myself having a really tough time even trying to come close to describing this place. It's insane. It is truly, truly, truly insane. What this artist has been able to accomplish here is, I can't even put it into words. He deserves like the biggest art medal you could ever award someone. It's stunningly beautiful. The inlay of the glasswork that shimmers in the sun is incredible. The entire complex is beautiful, and to think that he's accomplished all of this in relatively such a short period of time it's insane, is what it is. Yeah, if you ever find yourself anywhere near northern Thailand ever in your life, you have to come and check this place out. It's incredible, and no pictures, no videos will ever do it justice. Well, we're going to end our day here on a river cruise for a change. We are here on the Mekong River, one of the largest rivers that travels through many parts of Southeast Asia. It's also heading up to the Golden Triangle, which is called that because it's the meeting point of Thailand, Myanmar, and Laos. Yeah, don't really have much else to say other than that. Just kind of a chill way to end the day, and going to show you a little bit of the cruise.
Do you miss me at all? Do you think about the things we used to